live? I am. What's up, guys? Happy Thursday night. Chuck Silver here with Occupy Fantasy to draft some playoff returns contests on Underdog Fantasy. I had to enter the Mitten 2 because it was 50 entries away from filling when I entered it right before I started this stream, so it's probably filled by now, right? Wanted to knock out one of these and then get in a Gauntlet Returns, and then depending how that draft goes, I might do another one after that. These drafts go a little quicker because there's only 4 people in them, so yeah, Mittens Return too. That's crazy, dude. I wonder if they'll put out a third one tomorrow. They should put out a small one at least. You know, the problem with these returns contests is just that the finals fields are gigantic. Oh, I can't even pull it up there. Mitten Returns too. 1 out of 4 advance. There's only 4 people in a pod. Pays out. Min Cash pays back your entry fee. I'm actually surprised they did that. Would have thought they did $3. But 1 out of 12 in the next round, which is, tougher than the standard playoff best ball, which is typically 1 out of 10. And then 459 seed final is gigantic. And the other finals are also huge. But the difference here is that a lot of people are going to get to the finals with full 5-man rosters. So I feel like Derrick Henry's the best pick here. I've done a couple of these drafts. The thing here with quarterbacks is there's 5 that all have a good chance of making the Super Bowl. So you can push quarterback as late as you want. Like no one's taking a quarterback yet, and even the non-Badger knows this. Was really hoping that Amon-Ra was going to be there, but we're going for a Baltimore Super Bowl. We can hold off on the Baltimore guys. Like I think the thing that makes the most sense here is just to take AJ Brown. I have my running back for the Super Bowl, and I mean, given how large the finals field is, I think we kind of just have to nail the Super Bowl matchup. Still give ourselves a couple of outs, a couple of possibilities, but if you stack for the perfect Super Bowl and you have the nuts, I mean, you have a really good chance of getting there. Because I mentioned that a lot of people are going to have 5 full 5-man teams versus the regular playoff best ball contests, but not all of those 5-man teams are going to be the nuts. Like one of our Max and our just one of our guys had like the perfect nuts for a Baltimore Philadelphia, or I think it was Baltimore Philadelphia. It might have been Buffalo Philadelphia, but just the perfect nuts, unless one of the off receivers catches 2 touchdowns. Because even if an off receiver like Tim Patrick or Juju Smith-Schuster catches a touchdown in the Super Bowl, that might only be worth like 7.5 points if it's a 10-yard catch, and that's their only action that they see the whole game. And while that definitely could be a separator in the Super Bowl, and that's something that we definitely want to take a look at a little bit harder, but is there any chance this guy takes Derrick Henry? He missed Josh. Oh, no, he's going to take Josh Allen. We're going to take Jameson. Oh, wait. No, we don't want to take Jameson. Oh, my other Philadelphia guy's gone. Oh, this is no good. All right, we'll do Jameson to give ourselves... hope that guy doesn't take Lamar, and then we'll just lock up Baltimore. Completely lost my train of thought on that one. Just lock up Derrick Henry. I mean, we could honestly we definitely could have pushed Lamar here. That was a mistake that I just made. Both these guys have quarterbacks. While I've seen a couple people take 2 top quarterbacks, we just have to assume that they're not going to. I should have pushed that. Like Zay Flowers is falling because he didn't practice today. So I'm not worried about him going off the board. I guess I didn't miss out on too much. Take David Montgomery to help our Detroit-Baltimore final stack. I don't know if I finished that thought about, like, let's say Juju catches a catch. It's worth 7.5 points on Underdog from the 10-yard line, right? There's times where that 7.5 is in the flex, and that wins us the Super Bowl because no one else, there's not a other third player that scored 7.5, and a lot of people aren't going to draft Juju in these because it's just too easy to stack the perfect nutted teams. And so it's still not, a cakewalk to get the nutted teams through. You have to be 1 out of 4, then you have to be 1 out of 12. But if you can have like the perfect rosters for both sides of the Super Bowl matchup, you're probably in really good shape. And Puka is like a really good value here. I can't take him because, can I? It's tough because, so Detroit, let me pull this up actually. So this is just the bracket I built out earlier, but if it was KC, we're going for Baltimore, Detroit, though. I'll go back to that in a second. We already have a bomb running back, Derrick Henry. Don't need anyone else. We'll take Goddard for the Philadelphia matchup and then hope that Rashad Bateman makes it back to us after, we'll take Zay Flowers first because Zay Flowers better at football, and just hope he plays. So looking at the bracket here, let me just reset this. All right, so our main stack is Baltimore. We're not drafting any Bills. I was looking at this earlier, and let's say we have a Bill stack with Josh Allen. I actually do think it's okay to take like Zay Flowers if he falls really far because he can help us advance to this next round. But the problem is he's not going to help us advance out of the 1 out of 12 round, where advancing out of 1 of 4, obviously it's a lot easier. So I'm not sure I feel about that, like a last round Zay Flowers. If you have a Bill stack, that's kind of a weird one. But we definitely want to be considering players from Houston and Kansas City. Like we think Kansas City wins and they play the whoever in the conference finals. We want players from that team because we probably want to optimize for this round more than anything else. If we're optimizing for the conference finals, we're probably going to get through some teams that are looking good for the Super Bowl. And so let's say like what we have working out here. This is pretty much what we're expecting. We're rooting for a Baltimore finals, but what if I don't know, Hollywood Brown catches a touchdown and five catches, puts up like 14 fantasy points, and that ends up being really important this week for the flex. Helps you get through to the Super Bowl, even though he's not going to contribute. He helped you get there. And so the other side of that is, well, instead of Hollywood Brown, I could take like a Tim Patrick, back of the roster type guy. But if he catches a touchdown in the Super Bowl, like I said, those 7.5 points might or might not matter. But if it does matter, you're going to be really happy to have him. And then I feel like Terry McLaurin is a really strong piece here. I have a couple of Detroit pieces, and so I don't really want to take Terry unless maybe I can get him in the last round. But I feel I should probably see, but he's one of the highest projected receivers this week. There's only 4 teams playing, or 8 teams playing, sorry. And then if Washington beats Lions and advances, you're going to feel pretty good having Terry, obviously. Very low probability outcome. But in a finals field that's this big, it's kind of a good thing to have those, build for those unlikely outcomes. Because if you get to the, a Washington, say we get a Washington-Baltimore finals, there's going to be teams that can field full lineups, but it won't be nearly as chalky as like Baltimore Eagles or Baltimore-Detroit. I like that Hollywood Brown thing that I was talking about earlier. Let's go with that because they can play each other in the conference finals, help us get to the championship. Oh, on the clock again, huh? I don't mind this Terry McLaurin as an advance piece. I have the quarterback. I have Derrick Henry. 5, 8, and I can still, is my math wrong? Yeah, that's my 10th player. So I don't know. Did this team need help advancing? Maybe. AJ Brown, Jameson Williams. I'm up against teams like Amon-Ra, Sam Laporta, Khalil Shakir, Mark Andrews, Kelsey Worthy, Puka. Puka's going to be a big one, depending on what he does this week. I guess the other teams aren't super strong at wide receiver, so yeah, Terry McLaurin does look pretty good there. In the last round, anyway. All right. It's Gauntlet Returns, flagship on Underdog, $25 entry. Min cash, again, surprised it's $25. The original Gauntlet min cash was only 20, and I mean it advanced 2 out of 6, I guess, so it's a higher percent here, or lower percent here. But again, gigantic final, 325 seat final. This is a lot different than the Gauntlet's 300 seat final, because again, there's just going to be a lot more live teams in the finals. Got a no badger in here. Let's see what he does. It's not too hard to build out for a Detroit, Kansas City Super Bowl. Other than Gibbs and like you take Gibbs and Saquon. I'm sorry, Gibbs and Amon-Ra with your first 2 picks. Just make sure someone isn't a jerk and takes Goff. Yeah, Goff and Kelsey with your next 2 picks. Worthy and Sam Laporta. Should be pretty easy. And then if you do that, you might not even need a one-off. You might just be able to get away with taking like Juju Smith-Schuster or even like Khalif Raymond in the last round. Just those 3rd, 4th receivers. Maybe Kelsey and Worthy get all the work. And then that doesn't really work, actually. Maybe it's just like imagine one player on one of the teams getting all the targets. Amon-Ra gets all the fantasy points for Detroit. And then that 7.5 points from Juju actually matters. Tim Patrick, whatever. I want to get a Gibbs team. We're just going to take Derrick Henry again. Yeah, in the Gauntlet. We'll take Derrick Henry. Hope that we get Amon-Ra on the way back. That'd be nice. Running backs are king on Underdog, and we have 3 of the top running backs in the league. We got James Cook. We got Kyren Williams, who's also another top running back, not to mention Joe Mixon if he ends up playing. So this guy's going to go for the Detroit stack. He's probably going to take Dave Montgomery later. Do I push Lamar? I'll push Lamar. That's fine. I don't want to just go Philly again. I guess I don't really have a choice. At least this way, if someone takes Lamar, I can just take Jalen Hurts, and it's no big deal. Like I don't have Saquon, but I mean, with these first 2 picks, we're hoping for Baltimore, Philadelphia Super Bowl anyway. So I have a running back, and just have to hope he outscores Saquon. Nico and Puka are interesting because they're probably the, other than maybe Amon-Ra, but these are probably the 2 highest projected receivers this week, right? So he's got like the 3 highest projected players for the weekend on his team. Good chance to advance, but I'm interested to see what that Super Bowl stack's going to look like. So I'm definitely going to take a quarterback here. Yeah, we're just going to lean into this. This guy's not taking Jalen Hurts. Yeah, we're going to lean into this. So pretty clear path, right? Philadelphia plays Baltimore in the Super Bowl. Jalen Hurts passes for a lot of their fantasy production or rushes in himself where Saquon fails, and then Derrick Henry does all the work for Baltimore. And every draft I've done so far, Zay Flowers has fallen. And the thing is, even if he doesn't play this weekend, his value for later is so big. I'm actually going to push quarterback one more time because I still don't really care if I get Derrick Henry or Jalen Hurts. The only yeah, we can just take Zay Flowers here. Dallas Goedert. Is that necessary? This is a weird one when I don't know which quarterback stack I have yet. I don't know, like if this is a Philadelphia stack, I probably should have just taken Travis Kelce and pray that Jalen Hurts makes it back to me. And even if he doesn't, and I have Lamar, well, that's still okay because Travis Kelce would meet Lamar in the conference final. So that was another bigger mistake because this is a $25. Should have just taken Travis. Because like I said, Zay Flowers was falling, but I didn't know who to take. And I know I would be okay taking Zay Flowers later. I didn't want to waste a roster spot on someone I'd be annoyed about having later. Looks like we might still get Travis. I mean, this guy shouldn't really be taking him. He's building Buffalo, Detroit. He's going to want to lock up, I guess Khalil Shakir is already gone. Just don't take Travis, guy. All right, Dallas Goedert, nice. Take Travis Kelce. And now we are going to lock up Jalen Hurts because actually, I have Derrick Henry. No, we'll take Jalen Hurts. We'll take Jalen Hurts on this one. Maybe if we get in another situation like this later, we'll take Lamar on that team. So this guy is obviously taking Goff or Mahomes. This guy could take Jalen Hurts. The thing is, I don't think there's another player that I'm dying to have on my team to where taking a quarterback right now is like, oh man, I missed out on that player. It's a tough one. It's just like I have the 2 receivers, but I have Lamar's running back. He has a higher chance of going to the Super Bowl. Especially because the league is for sure rigging this game for Los Angeles, right? How do the Rams lose to the Eagles here? Who did I took? I took Jalen Hurts. I could have pushed it. Yeah, still could have pushed it. Because now this guy pretty much knows he's going to get Lamar. Or I was going to say he could even have pushed it. I don't think this guy's ever taking Lamar, and this guy seems to know what he's doing, so he's also never taking Lamar. Let's see. Just probably want to avoid Rams, although Kyron, I mean, I have Derrick Henry, so I don't know if Kyron is like the flex as an advanced piece. That could be pretty good. But we're going to go with... Am I taking 4 Baltimore players? We'll take Isaiah Likely. Maybe this is like a lesser combination than Rashad Bateman. Or like there's less combos of whatever I have here with Likely than there's with Bateman, since I took Likely a little ahead of ADP. Doesn't matter too much. ADP still doesn't matter in these playoff drafts. I'm tempted to take Kyron, even though I have Philadelphia. This is a really strong advanced piece. Hit my flex. This is like, it's got to be the highest projected player left by like 5 fantasy points. But you're going to be projected for like 18, 17. Terry McLaurin, like 13, 12. Guess I could check. See if our... take a look at the model real quick. Yeah, I mean, just going off the model for this specific game, and we can take this into account a little bit more than the other playoff games since there's only 3 rounds here, so the first round is much more significant. Philadelphia, DeAndre Hopkins. Easy game. Only problem is in a Philly KC Super Bowl, I don't have a running back, so actually I should probably try to avoid that. That's the problem with taking like the opposite conference quarterback rather than just taking the safe and easy Lamar. Is like, yeah, if I get Philly KC, I'll probably take Kenneth Gainwell on this team, but nope, someone else beat me to it. It's a problem. If I get to the finals, I'm drawing dead. Unless it's exactly Philadelphia, Baltimore. So now I have to look at it as like, well, hopefully Travis Kelce and DeAndre Hopkins are the advanced pieces for this week and next week to get me to the Super Bowl, you know, because that's all Kyron is here, is an advanced piece. Yeah, we have Puka as definitely the top receiver of the week. I actually have Terry McLaurin ranked pretty low. And if you're using the model for Underdog, remember to sort by FanDuel OF because the scoring system is the same, although those bonuses might affect it slightly because there's not bonuses on Underdog anymore, but they did add them on FanDuel. So just keep that in mind. Be a little bit careful with that. Didn't Jahan Dotson just catch a touchdown? Yep. All right, so I don't like this team. I think I should have went with Derrick Henry. It's just, or I mean, with Lamar. It's just a lot easier to draft multiple matchups because, like I said, now I need Philadelphia and Baltimore. Where if I took Lamar, I can play Philadelphia or I can play Kansas City, or not Kansas City. If I took Lamar, I just have to find another stack. The problem is no one is making the Super Bowl except for Detroit or Philadelphia, most likely. We'll do one more. Not happy with that one. Go for it. Big Mitten returns on 1 out of 4, 1 out of 6, 45 seed final. This one's pretty great. Just get a full team through. You probably have a pretty solid chance if you have the right matchup. Fourth pick. Nice. I like the 4th pick because I get to make 2 picks in a row. So it's a lot harder to get sniped. If someone snipes me, it's not really a snipe if it's 4 picks away. You will never believe who our highest ranked running back is this week. It's complete shock. I'm shocked. It's Jahmyr Gibbs. We have James Cook ranked pretty well, and then we actually have Dave Montgomery ahead of Derrick Henry, which might sound crazy, but remember the FanDuel, like the Occupy model goes by like its price. It considers the price, and FanDuel messed up, and David Montgomery is min priced over there. So that's going to affect it. So if you're using the model to draft your playoff teams or for battle royales this week, just keep that in mind. But although I don't know what his ADP is in battle royales, his ADP here is kind of low. So while it's not like min price low, for a perfect analogy there, but it's something. Joe Mixon and Kyron rank very poorly this week too. So that's something to keep in mind. Even as advanced pieces, maybe these guys aren't the strongest pieces. In terms of quarterback, you already know who's at the top of our list. It's Jared Goff, obviously. Jaden Daniels, third. Not bad. Mahomes dead last, even below Stroud, which is... it's not great. It's kind of sad. This guy took Amon-Ra, so I'm guaranteed to get a running back. We can start something nice. Wouldn't mind getting a Saquon team here. Can do something cool where I take Saquon and Derrick Henry. Yep, definitely doing it. Take James Cook or something. Take a quarterback, Funk Wizard. You're like, oh man, Josh Allen has an ADP at 1, but I can get him at pick 3. That's a big value. You should go for it. My man. All right, we're going to try this. I love this. The 2 highest projected players in the Super Bowl that aren't quarterbacks, if it's Philadelphia, Baltimore. And it just isn't even going to be close. So we're not touching another running back, obviously. Don't really care which... I guess I have to get Jalen Hurts now, or else this team is just dead. None of these jerks are going to take Jalen Hurts. One's going to... Oh, this guy took Lamar and Josh Allen. He might take Jalen Hurts. Now I'm worried. This is a pretty big sweat here. If I don't get Jalen Hurts, this team is dead. I guess these guys could still be advanced pieces to get this team through to the final round. I just find an off stack, but there's really only 5 quarterbacks we're interested in, and this guy already has 2 of them. If he takes a third, someone in here is going to be left with Stafford, Jaden Daniels, or Stroud, or probably 2 if that ends up being the case. That's what I would do, and just hope for that off matchup. I mean, Jaden Daniels probably isn't getting drafted that much in these rooms, and I was thinking about it earlier. I don't hate him if you can get him in like the 9th or 10th round. All right, at least. Oh my gosh. I can't believe I got Jalen Hurts here, dude. How did I win that sweat? I have never won a sweat before. That's crazy. But yeah, like if you have Goff or even Mahomes, because we know Mahomes is not a great fantasy producer, getting Jaden Daniels to help you get through to the next round, and then maybe they upset the Lions and they help you get through to the Super Bowl round. And Jaden Daniels is the highest scorer that week. Really help get through your Goff stacks, especially if a lot of the get through your Mahomes stacks, because if a lot of the Mahomes drafters are only drafting Mahomes, and it's really hard to get Mahomes to the finals week because he's the lowest scoring quarterback out of the 4 in the conference finals, then it's a really big advantage with Jaden Daniels. Even if he only outscores him by like 5, you have such an edge on the rest of your pod. And I mean, 1 out of 10 is better than the 1 out of 12, but 1 out of 10 is still really hard. It's even harder here because over in the regular playoff best ball contests, you don't have to worry about taking Goddard. There's going to be less full teams in the regular best ball contest. Here, there's going to be a lot of teams that can field 5 players in the next round. So I think we really want to advance this team. So we're going to take Nico Collins. I mean, I already set it up. It's just, it has to be Philly, Baltimore, basically. I wouldn't have minded taking Xavier Worthy. What did we have them at? Actually, probably should have taken Xavier Worthy. A lot higher chance of playing in the Super Bowl. But we do have Nico Collins as the 3rd ranked. Wait for FanDuel. 4th ranked wide receiver this week. Xavier Worthy. He's not too far behind him. He's like number 8. So If it helps me advance out of this round, it's okay. Maybe Nico Collins goes off again. He is the piece you need. Yeah, but probably should have taken Worthy for the possible Super Bowl matchup. I think that was another mistake I made. You're telling me that I can get Buffalo's #1 receiver in the 7th round? Okay. And I kind of teased at it earlier, but the number one ranked wide receiver on FanDuel this week, Keon Coleman. Yeah, we're gonna trust the model here. Keep in mind he's cheap on FD. That's why he ranks at the top. It's price sensitive again, but he's just getting drafted in most drafts. I imagine every draft he's getting drafted, but really like this for the Super Bowl. Like in this team, we can play Buffalo, Baltimore, Houston, and with me knowing that Nico Collins is like a one-off, I don't care if I end up drafting Chiefs, but it doesn't look like I'm going to. Oh, I guess that's the other problem is that Baltimore plays Buffalo in the first round. Probably want to avoid doing that, but either way, I have a really strong Super Bowl matchup, whoever gets through. I need another Philly player. I have 4 Philadelphia players. Yeah, this is fine. I mean, if they play Kansas City, I still have a full roster. And I don't think I'll be that far behind if Hollywood Brown catches a touchdown in the Super Bowl. Don't really need Kenneth Gainwell. Don Kincaid is dust. We're going to go deep here. Did I take Juju in the other one? I can't remember. Is Juju even on our model? Juju is not even in our model. No one's drafting him. It's okay. Maybe I could have gone for Curtis Samuel, but again, don't want to eliminate too many players after the first round. I'm already guaranteed to eliminate at least one. Probably could have taken another Baltimore player. If I knew Likely wasn't going to play, don't mind Aguilar late. And then I don't need a running back, so Justice Hill doesn't make sense, but consider it. Not bad. Not sure if we're going to be able to rip another stream tomorrow since these contests are basically full. Yeah, I mean, it's 1,700 away from filling. This probably fills by the morning. So maybe they'll throw up another one. We'll see what we have tomorrow. If not, good luck. Draft good teams. Consider some one-offs for the large finals field, and should be all right. Thanks for tuning in. See you guys.